You already know. We fidgeting out here. Hey, so I think what I want to talk about today is a lot of the things that stopped my egg cracking. This makes a bit of noise, but yeah, the things that stop my egg cracking, that just means egg cracking refers to the moment you realize you're trans. So the things that stopped me from realizing I'm trans, I think there was quite a few, because I was saying in my other video that like a popular narrative, a popular story about trans people you hear is that they've known when they're younger and then they learn or met a trans person or learned what transgender means and it spoke to them, or they've just always known and they've always known they're gonna do something about it. It's the always known part. And that was a story I kept hearing. I would watch like loads of trans YouTubers and I would watch their stories. It would always start with, I thought I was a boy. And then I realized I was a girl when I went through puberty, and I was put in, when we were having sex education, we were put in the girls and the boys, like stuff like that. And that was just never my experience. And so I was like, okay, because I didn't know when I was younger that I wanted to be a boy, I must not be. I must not be trans. This must not be true. And there was like, I would think of random situations in like my childhood that I was like, maybe that meant I wanted to be a boy. You know what I mean? Maybe that meant I wanted to be a boy. When really it could have, it could not have, it does. I don't really think it matters. It's not that deep to me. You know what I mean? Childhood stuff. I think kids experiment and shit. You know what I mean? I was a kid. So that's definitely one of them that stopped me. I think these are all like stories of trans people I would hear. So this is like what is put in my face when you watch like trans YouTubers or you watch like TikToks from trans people. And like not only that, a lot of the trans rep out there are like white trans people as well. So I was watching like No Offense, or what's the other guy's name? Ty. I don't know his YouTube name, but like No Offense, Ty, Jamie Rains, all of them I'm pretty sure were like, yeah, I've been new. And it's calm. It's like, even when you're watching like their top surgery results or something, or like just their experience and their trans content and stuff. Oh, what's the other dude? Sam Collins, that dude. Like, because they're all white, it's just like, I don't know, it doesn't connect. And I'm like, I'm not these guys. I'm not a white guy. I don't want to be a white guy. So, you know what I mean? It's just something that doesn't connect. I did find a handful of like black trans people, and then it's like, it connects a little bit. That was a little bit of a rant. I actually don't know what that was. Another thing, so there's a lot of like, I hate my body. You know what I mean? I was going through puberty and I hated my body. I was just so uncomfortable, like no, you know what I mean? And that one was really hard. That one like really delayed the egg crack moment, because I don't hate my body. I don't hate it now. I didn't hate it then. I've never hated my body. And like those kind of stories that we hear, I think they're the more extreme version. And I think it's become the more popular thing that we hear about trans people because it's so extreme. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of people that have the same gender dysphoria levels as I do, or the same experience as I do, but like, just what you will hear is like, I hated my body. I knew when I was younger, I was a girl, I was a boy stuck in a girl's body. Like, that's just kind of the thing you hear. And that's them, and it's definitely true for those people, but it's just like, it sounds a bit extreme. Like, it's quite sad. Like, people have dysphoria where they're like, I couldn't even look in the mirror at my body. I showered in the dark. Some people aren't even showering. You know what I mean? So like, it's never that extreme for me. I looked at my body. I didn't hate anything about it. I still don't hate it. I don't like it, don't love it, but I don't like hate it. I don't want to, you know what I mean? My body's just fine right now the way it is. And because I was so in tune with being a girl when I was younger, and I was so like, yeah, I'm a girl, and I really wanted to fit in. Like when I was younger, I got teased a little bit for like having small boobs and small bum, because like all the black girls in my secondary school had bigger boobs and a bigger bum, and like I was like the only black girl that like didn't have that. So I just wanted to fit in with the other black girls. So like that was a big focus in secondary school for me, which is like nothing to do with being a boy at all. That is purely just wanting to fit in girly shit, you know what I mean? And then I grew up. Y'all just gotta wait. Just wait your turn. I grew up and my boobs like came in a little bit more. And I was really happy for like past me. And I was like, wow, we have the boobs we wanted back then. Like, life is good. There was no complaints is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I say you know what I mean so much, and it annoys me. And I have to go back and edit this because I tried to edit all my you know what I means out. Anyways, yeah, like I'm sitting here throughout secondary school being like, dang, I'm failing my black women with having small titties and bum, whatever. And then they both kind of came in like in my more adulthood, and I'm like, yes, I have the body that like I wanted when I was younger. So like all of that was like vibing. Like I never hated my body or anything like that. So I'm like, okay, well, again, I must not be trans. I don't hate my body. Trans people hate their bodies. Hello. Duh. So that was really confusing. And it was really confusing as well when I bought my first binder. When I bought my first binder, right, I put it on. And just to preference things, everything where I've experimented with like gender and stuff, so far, even like now being on T, everything feels normal. Nothing is like ridiculously euphoric, which is a bigger signal to me, to be honest, that like, yeah, this is just who I am. I just got to make some adjustments to my life and my body and my name and blah, 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 right? It's not like, oh my God, like, this is what I wanted this whole time. I feel so good, a flat chest. Oh my goodness, no. I put the binder on, and my girlfriend had more of a reaction than I did. I just looked in the mirror and I'm like, oh shit, I look normal. I look like this is me. Like it was so natural. And that was confusing, because it was weird to me that it was natural for me to have a small chest, to have a flat chest, because I don't have a flat chest. So I was looking in the mirror and I was like, this looks normal, which is crazy. But like, I don't hate my boobs, but like, why does it look normal? I've been walking around with titties for, how old was I? 21 years. Why does this look normal? Like, that was like the vibe. So far, not hating my body and not knowing when I'm younger. I think those were the two biggest things that stopped my egg cracking. Something else that stopped my egg cracking was actually the thing I just spoke about, to be honest. But it didn't like really stop it as much as like those last two ones. But like I was saying, everything felt normal. And so, for example, I would watch a video of someone getting their top surgery results, and they're looking in the mirror and they start crying, or they're like really excited. They're like, oh my God, this is what I wanted for this entire time, and I finally got it. I feel so happy. And I'll be like, that's such a sweet reaction, whatever. And then like when I put the binder on for the first time, I don't know, I was just kind of anticipating that it would all finally click and fall into place and feel like a eyes opening moment. And it was just like, yes, this is it. And like I said, it was not, it was just like, this feels normal and right. I think that's partly my fault. I don't know how much of fault it is, you know, in the sense that I shouldn't have had those expectations for myself. I shouldn't have put those expectations thinking that like, okay, this is gonna be it on myself, because then when it didn't happen, you get me. And I was feeling that way with every little piece of experimentation that I did. So when I started like going by he, him pronouns, I went by he, they for a little bit, he, they. So when I started going by he, they pronouns, whenever people would use those pronouns with me, this is mainly at work, because that's where I mainly experimented with my pronouns. friends. I don't think anyone called me they, because by the time I changed, I told my friend to call me like he or they, but by the time they finally were able to adjust to it, I was like, oh no, it's just he. So anyways, when I was experimenting with pronouns, I would listen so intently when people would speak about me, and I would be waiting for like when it hits my ears to see if like, that's it, that's my pronouns, it feels, yes, that's it. And it just never happens again. It just felt normal. Like someone will be like, oh, he went to the toilet. Wait, how would I hear them if I'm in the toilet and he said he went to the toilet? Someone would say, oh yeah, he actioned that request. And I would just be like, yeah, that sounds about right. It was quite frustrating actually, how normal and regular and not overly euphoric all of that sounded. Oh, sorry, I should probably define what I mean by euphoric. You know what euphoria means, people. But like in terms of gender, like gender euphoria would, wait, how would I explain gender euphoria? Gender euphoria is like when something is affirming, a situation in regards to your gender is affirming, so you feel euphoric. Literally just the definition of euphoria. I don't think it's any different in terms of gender. So I had to learn, I would talk to my therapist about this a lot, and I told him that like I'm expecting all these, with each little thing that I experiment in terms of gender, I keep expecting the penny to drop, and the penny is not dropping. You know, I don't think there was even a penny for it to drop, but I think there is. I'm expecting there to be a penny, but there isn't. So I started to think about it logically, and I was like, it feeling normal is also a sign. And I made a lot of connections with how it felt getting with my girlfriend, because you need to internalize homophobia, internalize transphobia, outward homophobia, but like not too much. Back when I met like my girlfriend, I was like, no, I can't be gay. Like, no, don't be silly. But then I met her, and when we were getting together, it just felt so natural, so normal, so right. And it's kind of what I'm feeling now. Like all of this is feeling natural, normal, right? Maybe that does mean you're trans. So that's what helped my egg crack as well. It's just, there's a lot of talking with my therapist about that, and like comparing that experience, reframing it, all that jazz. I think another thing that really helped as well is this one specific YouTuber, Arthur Rockwell. I found him, and this is when I'm on the way. I'm like 60% there. No, I'm like 80% there, as in on the scale of not knowing you're trans, egg cracking. I am like 80% there, right? I discover Arthur Rockwell. I rewatch this guy's videos all the time. He was one of the few trans people I discovered that actually have the experience I have now. As in, he didn't know when he was younger. He went through like a whole feminine phase. I never went through a feminine phase, but he didn't know when he was younger. I don't know, I remember watching a video, and his view of transition is, I think he was like doing some Q&A or something, or he was just asking himself questions. He's like, why did I transition? And like his words were like, I transitioned because I thought it would make me happy. There was no like, I have been thinking about this for like, I've always known, you know what I mean? He had a girl childhood. I found that interesting. Like just that one, like he is very blasé. He's just like, yeah, I thought it would make me happy. I had these feelings that I feel like a boy, and now I transition. It was so simple. You know what I mean? It wasn't like it was killing myself or it was being a boy, you know? Oh my God. Thought of another thing. On the very extreme end as well, there's like the unfortunately some trans people, they just cannot live as the wrong gender, you know what I mean? They can't. They're like, I was gonna kill myself, transition saved my life. And glad for them, happy for them. That was difficult, because I was like, I don't want to kill myself. What the fuck? Like, I don't want to kill myself. And it was really weird because I was saying to myself a lot that I probably could live the rest of my life as a woman in this body, being referred to that way. And sure, I wouldn't be happy, but it will be doable. If somehow I couldn't have access to hormones or medically transitioning, blah, 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 I would survive. I don't necessarily feel that way anymore, but that's how I felt when I was questioning my gender. And I was like, that's definitely not how trans people feel. Like, it's transition. It's transition. It's transition. That's what you do. Not everyone transitions, but that's what you do. It's suicide or transition. But I don't feel that way. I'm like, I'm not even over here, you know? So that was really strange. But I was watching a lot of Arthur Rockwell's videos, and none of that extreme side came up ever. It was really simple. It was just like, I thought it would make me happy. I did it. And it made me happy. And it was just like, dang, it really could be that easy. So I started to kind of look at it through that lens. And like during this time, I'm experimenting more with pronouns, with the binder. I was always going by a different name because I had started a new job pretty much right when I was like questioning my gender. And I was like, they have a preferred name when I was applying. So I was like, let me use the name that I go by now and see if I like it. Instantly liking it. So yeah, I was like, okay. So how I started to go about that with the framework of like Arthur Rockwell, I was like, let's just keep doing it. If it feels like experimenting, like if it feels normal, then it's normal. If it feels natural, then it's natural to me. And even better, if you get a bit of euphoria, you get a bit of euphoria, and just keep with those feelings. And here I am today. Like, it didn't stop, you know what I mean? It didn't stop. I was like, okay, experiment with pronouns. Okay. Then come out to this person. Okay. All right, come out to this person. And I would always, when I was questioning my gender, I would talk to myself. I'd be sitting here, like, and I'd be like, my name is Lee. I'm a trans man. My name is Lee. I go by he, him pronouns. My name is Lee. I am non-binary. My name is Lee. I go by he, him pronouns. He, they pronouns. Like, I would just go through all the things there is. I'd like, my name is Lee. I'm a woman. And then I'd do my dead name. I just listening, like, what feels right. That was so crazy that time. Doing that. Like, that's what I'd be doing. Like, when I'm home alone, working from home, I'd be like, what sounds right? None of it sounded right at the time. Non-binary and trans man and man, they sounded more right than woman ever did, but it was just such a shock to the system that I'm saying these words that my body just couldn't. So I was like, okay, I need to start saying these things to myself more, because I need to get past the awkward stage where it sounds strange because it's new. And I need to get past that stage where I can actually analyze how it feels and sounds to me, and not because it's new, but because it's right or wrong, right? So then that's kind of when I started coming out to people. Like, I started telling people I'm trans. Like, I think that's when I told my friend, but I told her not to tell anyone. And then I told my best friend, and it was just between friends. And so they know. And like, every time I came out to someone, I would analyze how I felt. I would look inwards and be like, did that feel right to say? Like, hey, I'm trans, I go by this, and I use he, him pronouns. Did that feel correct to say? And every time I came out to someone, and then afterwards they would gender me correctly, it never felt wrong. It never felt wrong. It felt awkward because it's an awkward conversation, but it always felt just like, yeah. And then when I came out to my parents, I analyzed that at the same time. I'm like, okay, did that feel weird? Telling them that I identify as a man, I use he, him pronouns, did it feel weird? And it felt weird because they're transphobic, but it didn't feel weird because it's wrong. This has gone on a mad tangent. You're not gonna find structure, and sorry, no ma'am, you're not. Okay, you're not gonna find structure from me in these videos. I really do apologize. I actually don't even know what I was talking about. Right, what stopped my egg cracking? Yeah. I do want to continue to talk about that, like, it's suicide or it's transition saved my life. Because I feel really strange about it now, because I don't want to kill myself. I'm not suicidal. I don't know how many times I can get away with saying suicide on YouTube. But yeah, I don't want to end it all. However, if now, I don't know, somehow I had to live as a woman and start using she, her pronouns and using my dead name. Like, I think about it, because it's just crazy how, like, 2 years ago, I was like, okay, I think I might be trans, but I could still live as a girl, so maybe I'm not trans. And, like, that's weird. Like, I could live this way. I don't have to transition, but I could still be trans. Like, I could live this way. Does that still make me trans? You know what I mean? But now I couldn't live as a girl. So it's really weird, but maybe I just thought that because I was questioning my gender, my egg was like slowly cracking. You know what I mean? Like, don't make me live as a woman. I will be unhappy. I wouldn't, but I don't want to kill myself. But maybe that's because I'm not living as a woman right now. Like, I don't know. Am I making sense? It reminds me of the phrase as well, like, I would rather have a dead son than what the fuck? No, sorry. I would rather have an alive daughter than a dead son, or an alive son than a dead daughter. Like, when you're talking about, like, if you're a parent and your kid is like, Mom, I'm a woman, or a girl. You know what I mean? I hate that terminology. I really do. I understand why people say it, because it might be what for your situation. Like, maybe your child is coming to you and is like, listen, Mom, I am gonna, if I don't socially transition, if you don't let me use she, her pronouns, if it's like a assigned male at birth, right? I know that's the reality for some people. But it hurts me because it's not the reality for everyone. And it's not that I'm now a dead daughter. Like, the daughter I was is dead. It's like I said in my previous video, did I say it? Well, she's kind of still there, because I was that person. I'm still the same person in the sense of that was me in those photos. 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 18 years ago, like, that was me. I'm only the same I'm the same person in that sense, as in I was born and I'm still here. I'm not the same person because I've grown, sure, but like, I'm not dead. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm explaining this right. I'm not a dead daughter. I am an alive son, but I'm not a dead daughter, because I'm still your alive child. You know what I mean? And I don't want to kill myself. It's not between living or dying. It's not between life and death for me. This video has gone off the rails. Those are a few of the things that stopped me from realizing I was trans. A little bit of rambles as well. I think this didn't stop my egg cracking, but it helped, aided in my egg cracking. I would talk to my girlfriend and I'd ask her a question like, so you've never thought about living as a boy? And she's like, nah. So you never like wanted to? And she's like, no. I'm like, you know what I mean? Talking to cis people. Cis means cisgender. It means your gender and your sex align. So if you're a male, you're a man. If you're a female, you're a woman. I need to make sure I'm getting these definitions in, because I don't know if my family and friends know all of it. Is what I'm saying. Because it's crazy how cis people do not have these thoughts. Maybe a few percentage of them, but most of them do not. And it also reminds me of a conversation I had with a friend as well in terms of sexuality. Like, me and my girlfriend were talking to her and we were like, so you've never thought about being with a woman? Like, just fantasized? And she's like, no. I was like, have you never even like wondered what it would be like? She's like, no. Have you ever like, you don't even have to fantasize, but like, is there like, there's nothing? And she's like, no. And she's like, listen, cishet people don't think about this stuff. They don't think about that stuff. Most of them. This girl was straight. She thinks about men. She thinks about men only. What? It's so strange. So that actually helped, talking to cis people, because yeah, they don't have these thoughts. How I actually started questioning my gender was like 3 years ago. People still do it now, but like back when I had social media, everyone was like putting their pronouns in the socials, right? I've been dating my girlfriend for like maybe 8 months to a year at this point. I think it was about a year in. So the internalized, the transphobia has, as soon as I started dating my girlfriend, I was like, okay, we're not being homophobic anymore. We're not going to be transphobic or homophobic. I was transphobic and homophobic that entire time. It's definitely in me. I was way less, like when I got to uni, I didn't care, but it was still in me. It was like internalized. And then I started dating my girlfriend. I was like, okay, that needs to stop. That needs to go. I'm very much like that. If something happens and it like, I will just dive headfirst into that, you know what I mean? I was now at the time a girlfriend, so I was like, I can't be a girlfriend to a girlfriend and be homophobic, so stop. So I was like, let me support my people and put the pronouns in my thing. And then I sat there and it came up with the list of pronouns. This was on Instagram, and I was like, wait, what pronoun should I put? My girlfriend did it and she put she, her. Like it was so quick, like she, her. But I was staring at that list of pronouns and I was like, I was realizing I could click any one of them. I could click all of them. I could click one that is not the one I'm currently using. You know? So, example, exhibit A, my girlfriend, cis, she's not doing that. She's not looking at the pronouns like, oh no, oh dearie me, which one should I choose? And I'm like, what? Which one should I choose? So that's how it started. And like I said, cis person is not thinking about that stuff. So like talking to cis people, you realize how like, no, like when I was having that conversation with my friend about the sexuality, whether she thinks about girls and she doesn't, I was in shock. I was like, dang, this conversation would have been really great if I had it like when I was back in secondary school and I'm thinking in my head like, oh my god, it's such a shame that I have to date a man. Women are so pretty. You know, that really would have helped me realize a few things. So I think that's the end. I like yapping. So I don't even want to end the video. I like yapping. I don't think I have anything else though to mention. I don't think there was anything else that stopped my egg from cracking. It was a tough time. It was a lot of experimenting. And the internalized transphobia is still there. It's still in me. But it's less in me than it was before. And when I was questioning my gender, I was really battling with myself because I was ashamed of even questioning my gender. You know what I mean? Like before I got to I would say when I bought a binder, that's when the experimenting kicked off. So before I got to buying a binder, I would put the binder in my basket and just leave it there for like weeks. And I would just come back randomly, look at it in my basket, stare at it and just be like, because I felt ashamed that I was even questioning, because I'm like, I shouldn't be questioning something like that. It was the transphobia I was raised on as a kid. It was the Christianity. It was like Caribbean parents that I was raised as. You don't question those sort of things. Those aren't the things you question. You don't question your gender like that because God made you a certain way, or you are who you are, men are men, women are women, all that jazz. So it was a lot of battling with just the first part. I got over that a little bit just by being like, there's nothing wrong with experimenting. I'm just experimenting. It doesn't mean I'm trans. I like the binder, but it doesn't mean I'm trans. I like when people call me he, but it doesn't mean I'm trans. That's how I don't know if it's counterproductive, but it worked. It allowed me to continue to experiment. So that's kind of how I had to do it. I just is like, experiment is not bad. It's not a bad thing. So that was half the battle. But yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, so I'm going to be 1 month on T next week, so I'll record that. And I'm going to start my period next week, so that's going to be fun. Maybe I'll wait until my period's after so that I can report back to you how it was. Little like life thing. I have been doing push-ups every day, and I've now added squats to the mix. I do 3 sets, 8 reps of push-ups. I missed maybe like 1 day because I was resting, and like, no, I think it was a couple of days actually. I missed because I just had DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. So I was like, let me rest. I started doing those push-ups. It wasn't always 3 sets of 8. I'm on to 3 sets of 8 now. But I started doing those push-ups before T because I'm like, I want to get into the habit of doing the push-ups so that when I'm on T and I work out my chest, it's not a chore to do it. And it's just more like natural because I'm trying to lower my frustrations as much as possible. I don't want to be like, oh, I missed another day. Like, I need to, like, I don't want to be trying to form the habit. I want the habit already there. I just want the T to do its thing. If I think of any other things that may have delayed me, I will just make another video. So I don't even know what I'm going to title this either. Probably Rambles Part 2. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.